Boom. Righto. Amazing. Thank you, Lisa. Much appreciated. And thanks everyone for joining this lunchtime. We are going to talk about the wonderful world of TikTok and how it's not just an app for kids dancing, which, to be honest, if I was paid £1 for every time someone said that to me, I would be an extremely rich human being. So we will talk today a little bit about how to nail TikTok for your business. I'll kick off just a little bit about us and why listen to us, really. Then we'll talk a little bit about TikTok and how it's different. Then we'll talk about different types of content you can create. We'll touch very quickly on the likes of influencers and how you can leverage TikTok in other ways other than just building communities. And then I'll run through a couple of accounts that you can look at for inspiration. I've left Q&A to the end, but if you do have any questions, just feel free to whack them in the chat, as Lisa mentioned. If not, we can cover them all at the end. I'm totally free. So this is us. So I'm Oli Hills, the CEO at a TikTok agency called Nonsensical. We're based up in Birmingham with offices in Bristol as well. Over the past 12 months, we've delivered 600 million video views for some amazing brands across TikTok and some of our own communities as well. So I like to think that we know what we're doing. As well as for clients, we also run some of our own internal communities. So we set Endless Mythology, for example, up 15 months ago. These are our investment in some of our own brands on TikTok. So these aren't clients. This is all stuff that we do internally, and we use it really as a test bed for how we can build communities across TikTok and test different types of content. So yeah, we've grown to over 700,000 followers now across our own communities. We're actually pushing up to 800,000 now, which is amazing. So I like to think we know what we're doing when it comes to TikTok. So why TikTok is always the key question I get asked, and I'm sure for those on the call with kids or nieces and nephews, you've probably seen them obsessed with the app. But over the last couple of years, it has fundamentally changed the way that we do content generally, people consume content, and it's also bleeding into the other social media apps in terms of that short form video. So some high level stats, bearing in mind that TikTok is called Douyin in China and is a completely separate app, and it's actually banned in India. TikTok still has over 1 billion monthly active users, which is absolutely mind blowing. The interesting one is that 44% of users are actually over the age of 25. My thought here is that generally parents or whoever, or carers and guardians, would have gone onto the app to see what their kids or kind of niece and nephews are up to, and then got hooked because it's an incredibly powerful app for that. The average time spent on the app per day is 94 minutes. I would say that is scary rather than impressive, but naturally we are seeing that amount of time spent on TikTok per day because it is ridiculously addictive. And then a bit closer to home in the UK, there's 23 million monthly active users on TikTok. So there's a big market on there. Again, not just those under the age of 25, over the age of 25 as well. So fundamentally, why is TikTok different? I think that's a really interesting question to ask. And what we see is, if you think about going back to pre-lockdown, the world of Instagram was very much about kind of showcasing and essentially faking your life, really. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard the stories of people going to Blackpool Beach, say, cleaning up the sand around them, sticking an amazing blue filter on the sky and basically posting that they're having a great holiday in Barbados. And then I'm sure they'd walk down to the Savoy, go and stand by a Ferrari that they find and pretend they're a Bitcoin millionaire. So what happens is that Instagram became this place that you didn't really trust. It was a bit fake. Everything was not as it seemed necessarily. So obviously when the pandemic hit and we were all told to stay inside, these Instagrammers and these influencers couldn't fake their life anymore. The four walls they had around them was literally all they had in reality in their life. So what we saw was TikTok came along and said, well, why don't you just create content that's just about you, that's authentic, that's real? If you've got dirty laundry behind you or you've not made your bed, I don't mind. Like, just go and create content that's real and authentic. The other thing that TikTok did, which is absolutely kind of game changing from a social media perspective, is that most social media platforms, whether that be Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you generally had this model where you opted in. to follow people. So you would go on their account and say, yep, I want to see more from you. TikTok kind of turned that on its head, and they said, I think based on how you use the app yourself, like the types of videos you watch, the type of accounts you interact with, how you engage with particular types of content, I'm going to work you out and I'm going to show you content that I think you will like. So TikTok curates a feed for you based on your interests. And that's why it's so addictive, because you go onto TikTok, you've got no idea what video is going to come next. But the algorithm is that good that it just works you out. The second thing is that TikTok obviously was built around copying. So for anyone that goes back pre-2017, you'll remember, or 2018, you'll remember an app called Musical.ly. It was very much a lip syncing app, again, very much used by kind of 13 to 18-year-olds. And it was ByteDance, the company that now owns TikTok, bought Musical.ly and converted it into TikTok. So the app has always been built around the fact of kind of music, lip syncing, and what they describe as trends. So there's a big opportunity on TikTok to kind of get inspiration from other people who are creating content on the app, but doing it for your own community. And that's the really big one. So everyone will say to me in the questions at the end is like, is TikTok really for me? I run a B2B business, or my thing's very niche. There is a niche for everyone on TikTok. What we're told, and what we always read on the likes of LinkedIn and in blogs, is that TikTok has the ability to go viral. And that is true. When we first launched Endless Conspiracies, our first video reached 2.8 million people, and we had 0 followers when we posted it. So you do have that ability for virality. But what you actually want to do on TikTok is to nail your niche. So really clear on who the community is that you're trying to build, whether it's marketing directors or HR managers or people who love ballet, whatever your niche is, as long as you're creating content that is for them, that they resonate with, they understand, they learn from, you can win and build a great community on TikTok. And the final thing is that TikTok kind of turned around and just said, have fun. I'm sure we've all been on social media platforms and you look in the comments and it's all a little bit miserable and awful. TikTok's a place that I call it the happy place, where you can go on and genuinely be yourself and create content that is genuinely interesting for the community that you're trying to generate and build. So how do we do that? Well, we've obviously talked about trends. So these are, for example, someone will upload a snippet of a song or a very particular part of maybe a TV program, and they turn these trends into something that is relatable to them. So this video here, if it does play, there was a trend on TikTok, which was a So hopefully you all could hear that. But basically the trend was, there was this young lad who did a TV interview, and he basically told that he loved sweet corn. And some guy basically put a bit of background music to it. And all of a sudden this song, or this sound, had 14 million views, or 14 million uses, sorry, on TikTok. So this is the account for a curry restaurant that we run the account for in Bristol. And what you'll see is that we took that trend and we converted it into something that's relevant. So instead of "for me, I really love corn," we did "for me, I really love curry." And it's being able to use these trends to cut through on the algorithm. So trends is really important. Looking at when trends start to take place. The biggest thing to do, and the biggest advice for businesses, is to find members of your team who are already on TikTok, and basically set up a group where everyone is looking through their home feed. And if they see content that's like, oh, actually, I've seen that a couple of times now, you can share it within a WhatsApp group or whatever it may be. And then you can look at it and decide how you can make that trend relevant for your brand. Sometimes it isn't right, and sometimes that it's absolutely perfect for. So as an example, this corn trend that I've just shown you now, we also run the TikTok for Birmingham City Council, and we couldn't think of a way of linking the corn song to Birmingham City Council, so we just left it. So trends are there to be definitely looked at and considered, but you don't always need to jump on trends to grow an account. Again, as an example, Endless Mythology is now at 335,000 followers. We've never once jumped on a trend on TikTok. So it's there, but you don't have to use it. The next one is authenticity. So again, TikTok came about and just said, I just want you to be you. So you don't need any more to create overly produced video content. Most times that businesses hear that you need to create video, you have flashbacks to when you spent 5, 10, 15, 100 grand on a video that you posted on social and it got 55 views. TikTok's kind of done away with that. And they've said, look, just get your phone out, get on camera mode, record a video. It doesn't need to be polished. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be authentic. People can just see through straight away when people are creating or brands are creating over polished videos, because it doesn't necessarily reflect what real life is. And we talked right at the start about this Instagram perfection being rejected. So TikTok is an opportunity for you to be really authentic and showcase your brand's personality. More often than not, if you do scroll through TikTok, you will see the likes of Francis here, who is now, well, he started on TikTok by train spotting, and now he has his own TV program on Channel 4. That's how ridiculous the world of TikTok is. But more often than not, people are front and center of videos on TikTok. And what we see is that businesses are very concerned about that because A, they don't have members of the team who are comfortable being on camera, or they don't want to put a face to the brand. They want to just have it as a logo. But what we're saying is that actually on TikTok, people buy from people. So having people who are comfortable within your business, who are good on camera, can speak naturally and represent your brand, that is a really good way of getting buy-in to your accounts. Now, as an example for businesses, you could look at using freelancers for this. So again, at Nonsensical, we have a roster of TikTok creators who we can call upon whenever necessary to create content for us. They're pre-vetted, so we know they're good on camera. They're pre-vetted, so we know that they represent your brand. So maybe look at local colleges, universities, or members within your team who want to be creators and want to be on camera, and work with them to build up your content. And then finally, the reason why TikTok just absolutely exploded is because they made content creation so accessible. Now, TikTok basically have built the world's best mobile editing app for video and given it to the world for free. There are so many features within the TikTok app that you can use. So Ryanair here, which is the screenshot, is a brilliant example. They use one of the features on TikTok called the I'm lost effect. And what it does is it means you can put your mouth and eyes onto any object you like. So they have basically turned their aeroplane into a person. That's their style that they do on TikTok. So that could work for you. They've also built in green screen. So within one tap of a button on TikTok, you can get a whole green screen effect behind you where you can start uploading imagery or video and present and tell different stories about what it is. So as an example, if we were doing 5 things to do this weekend in Birmingham, we could just get a nice picture of, I don't know, a couple of bars, maybe a park, a restaurant, and just say, yep, you should go here, you should go there, you should do this, all built within the app. Now, I'm sure if we've ever, or you've ever inquired about how much it is to rent a studio for the day, hire all the expensive cameras, and then work out how to use green screen, the cost is an absolute extortionate amount. TikTok have built that into the app for free. So the features within the app are incredibly powerful for you to be able to create content authentically, but also really accessibly. So it doesn't need to cost lots of money. TikTok videos can be 5 seconds long, they can be 60 seconds long. They don't need to be overly polished or perfect. And that's something that TikTok's really changed. So for businesses, it can be a bit scary because you're like, oh no, we want our brand to come across as like really high end, really polished. And TikTok's turned around and said, well, you don't necessarily need to do that. What you need to do is create content that reflects what you do, provides value, but done in a way that looks like it deserves to be on the TikTok platform. So your big takeaway from today is get yourself on the app, scroll through, look at the types of videos that there are, and see how that could work for you. The other thing to do is if you literally go onto TikTok and click search and search for questions or hashtags within your specific niche. So it could be HR advice, it could be accountancy, it could be legal, it could be e-commerce, whatever that is. Go onto TikTok and do a search, and you will start to see a whole host of videos of people and brands all doing content within your space. And you can absolutely use that for inspiration. The big thing around TikTok, which is no different to any other social media platform, is that content is absolutely key. The most important thing when it comes to TikTok and any social media platform is creating content that is relevant for your community. So the first one is it could be educational. So as an example, I went to see the big bull that was made for the Commonwealth Game opening ceremony in central Birmingham the other day when it was in town. And my stepdad came along with me, and he started doing this bizarre camera trick where he basically had a landscape camera and was doing a panoramic shot. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? And he said, oh, basically, if you do a panoramic shot in landscape but move it in kind of that up to down, it creates a panoramic portrait photo. And I said, oh my God, that's genius. I love that. Bearing in mind my stepdad's 62, I was like, where did you learn that? He said, oh, I learned it on TikTok. So there is absolutely an opportunity to create content that is educational. So think about what people have got or what your potential customers are asking in terms of questions or what it is that you think they can provide value. If you can create content that provides value to your target community, that is the most important thing. The second thing is, yes, you can be funny. Ryanair lean into being funny. It all depends on your tone of voice. But again, it's finding content that your target community will find funny. So quick example, I was on Valentine's Day, I was off to record a podcast. It's about as wild as my life is. And I saw a graphic from my dentist saying, Happy Valentine's Day, this on Instagram. And I was like, why would a dentist wish me Happy Valentine's Day? It's just lazy. I really wanted to chuck something out and it was just done. I've ticked that box, but let's move on. And I was thinking, well, how could you do that actually resonates and somebody will actually want to share? Now, I'm sure we've all had that fear, or we know someone who's had to have an emergency tooth taken out or emergency filling the day of a big first date or something like that. Now, if the dentist was to create content replicating that kind of a video showing that story and posting that, where you turn up on your first date and your mouth's all numb and you're dribbling and it's just absolute chaos. That is something that I would likely share with my friends or tag someone in and say, oh my God, yeah, imagine if that happened. So content is fundamentally crucial for how do you build a genuine community for your brand and for your business. So you haven't always got to be funny, but just think about what would make someone share it. What's going to make someone actually want to comment or kind of engage with your video. And the third thing is inspiring. So again, it could be best places to go on holiday. It could be something like an amazing quote, or it could be something that gets people excited. So again, what is it that your business is delivering that could be inspiring to your target customer? Now, the context is key. So generally, when you're on TikTok, unless you're going there to search, which is a big thing now, people will go to TikTok sometimes more than Google to search for answers to their questions. More often than not, people will go to TikTok when they're walking for a bus, maybe they've just woken up, crudely they might be on the loo. So they're not actively generally going to search for your business on TikTok and have a look for your accounts. What will happen is your content will just appear in people's feeds. So you need to think that you have literally got 2 to 3 seconds of someone's attention to grab them to make them want to watch the rest of the video. Now, most videographers prefer to start with a slow panning drone shot, or they do interviews with a business owner or particular members of the team, and they'll stand there and say, hi, I'm Oli, and I'm the CEO at Nonsensical. And it's just really boring when you compare it to other videos on TikTok. So the key thing to do is, if you are going to start creating content for your TikTok channel, before you post a video, have a look through kind of 5-10 other TikTok videos and then watch yours. And you will know very quickly whether it's going to come across as a really big advert, or whether it's just really boring, or it doesn't quite fit the platform. So think about content and how you can provide value for your target community, and then think about how is the content need to be structured in order to fit into someone's context when they're using TikTok. Hopefully that makes sense. So now I'm going to talk about content types, because I'm sure you're all stood there just like, oh God, it's just all kids dancing and throwing toilet rolls around, or whatever videos we saw kind of 2 years ago. But there's a variety of different content that you can create on TikTok. And this one here, as an example, hopefully that audio doesn't play, is narration. So we use third-party or existing footage without a presenter, and we narrate stories over the top. So it could be, I don't know, 5 things to do this weekend, or 5 things you didn't know about, or 5 tips for improving your CV, or whatever it is in relation to your target community that you're trying to engage. You don't always need to have a presenter. You can use this existing footage and then narrate stories over the top. This is how we built Endless Mythology to 335,000 followers, always doing this type of content. The next style is green screen. So again, this is using TikTok's in-app feature that, again, if it was like, here are 5 ways to, or 5 things to consider before you engage a lawyer, 5 things to do before you buy a house. You can just get imagery behind you to support what you're talking about and film it within TikTok. Again, this could be filmed anywhere because the background is going to be covered, and it's just a really simple and authentic and TikTok way of creating story about your brand. So again, you haven't got to make everything difficult. Using the features within TikTok, you can create content relatively quickly. Again, Endless Conspiracies, we launched 50 days ago. We've only really used green screen, and it's already at 104,000 followers. So just with using this one particular style of video, we've managed, I think it's something like 25 million video views already on the platform, just using green screen. This style is probably the most common that you'll see on TikTok. And again, it's just videos that are created from home. There's no impressive backdrop. It is just people either talking to camera or jumping on particular trends. So again, this video here is an example of a hair care brand that we work with. And this is one of our presenters, and she's literally just talking about hairstyles for sleeping and how to protect your hair, basically. So again, we don't need to be in a salon. It's just content that people can easily engage with and relate to. So when it comes to TikTok and content creation, what I'm trying to get across is that it's not necessarily difficult to create this. You don't need to overproduce. Content can be absolutely created from home. Then you've got on location. So this is where maybe slightly higher value in terms of production, because you often need a presenter and a videographer. The videos that I've shown you before, you generally just need one person. These ones can be a little bit more detailed. They probably need a little bit more pre-planning and scripting. So again, this example here basically is us packing an order for one of our clients, and it got 85,000 views. So bit more thought out in terms of where you're going to film, who's going to be your presenter, who's going to be your videographer. And if you are doing things like transitioning to move between different locations, just that storyboarding needs a little bit of work beforehand. But it's a great way of doing content. If you look at the likes of Duolingo, they do all of their content on location, and it works really, really well. And then finally, if you are brave enough, you can also hit the streets, which is a really common TikTok style in terms of video that we see work really well. We work with the likes of eHarmony, where we go out onto the street and ask people questions about their dating history, their love languages. We've done it for Birmingham Updates, where we've been and asked people what their favorite moment from the Commonwealth Games was. So again, slightly more high production, where you need a videographer and a presenter. And I'll be totally honest, this can be a bit of a grind. Getting people to stop in the street and answer questions can be a little bit painful. So again, finding a freelancer or a member of your team who is comfortable just going up to random people and asking questions is kind of crucial for this, but it can absolutely work. Some of the videos that we've created using this style, you just get really authentic responses from the community. So asking people in the street questions about stuff that you are doing relating to your service or your brand can absolutely work. But again, just requires a little bit more thought and production in terms of producing this type of content. So just a couple of other things to consider. The first is songs and sounds. Naturally, they are the essence of TikTok. That's what it's been built around. There are two types of accounts on TikTok. There is a personal account, or there is a business account, or a creator account, or a business account. They keep changing the names. Basically, if you are set up as a business account, you aren't able to use commercial songs. So it does limit you a little bit. You'll see in this screenshot here that the song used is Ed Sheeran, Bad Habits. If you had a business account, you wouldn't be able to use that song. So it does limit you a little bit. However, if you have got a business account, then you are able to add links into your bio, and there's a couple of extra analytics and information that you get. So you have to just weigh up the pros and cons internally as to whether it's better to have a business account or a creator account. TikTok will tell you to always have a business account, but it obviously does limit you somewhat. Just be mindful that if you do decide to have a creator account and you want to put some money behind some of your videos, like boosting as you do on Facebook and Instagram, you can't boost videos with commercial music as well. So just have that as pre-thought when you are selecting the sounds and songs that you want to use on the platform. A good way to use TikTok is basically when you have, or when you're scrolling through and you see a sound that you like, in the bottom right-hand corner, there will be a spinning disc. If you click on that, that's where it opens up a page of all the different videos created using that particular sound or song. So you can use that for inspiration and see what other people are doing on the platform. Like I said, TikTok is really about almost copying, with all due respect. So getting inspiration from other accounts on the platform and then turning that into a style that works for your brand and the community you're trying to engage is a really good way of using TikTok and getting that inspiration. The other thing to think about is framing. Now, again, for any videographers on the call or anyone that's worked in video in the past, normally you're told to look away from the camera, your eye line will be on the second thirds. Essentially, when it comes to TikTok, everything is first and foremost in portrait. So I want you to take up the whole screen. When people use TikTok, they will literally use it as their phone is held. They won't turn their phone into landscape. So portrait is crucial. But also, you've got to think about what is the hook of this video? What is the first 3 seconds? So in the example on the left where we have Matt, you'll see how close his face is to the camera. That's because we want Matt to be the subject of the video. We wanted him to be, or people to want to stop and listen to what he's got to say. You will also see that we've left a bit of space underneath his chin and above where our caption sits to include text. Now, you'll see a lot of videos on TikTok where the text is covering someone's face or it's covered by the caption down below. So again, just thinking about when you're going to be posting content, if you are going to want to add text to your video, which is a good thing to do, where can it sit on the screen? Again, you'll see in this example here with Harps, where she's got 7 ways to improve your TikTok. We know that we're going to add different text within the video. So we have left a lot of room above Harp's head and to the right, so we can add text into that space. So just thinking about how your videos look and when you are filming and framing, just understanding if you're going to be adding subtitles or text and where that can fit to not disrupt the look of the video. But the other thing, like I said, portrait, and if you are the presenter, I want you front and center looking down the lens of the phone camera. It can be a little bit daunting, I fully appreciate that, but it's definitely the way to do it. So as I mentioned earlier, that TikTok is used as a search engine. So a lot of people are now going to TikTok to search rather than using Google. I mean, I'm sure we've all been on websites where you have cookies popping up and pop-ups for sign-ups or emails, and the whole experience is just atrocious. Especially if you're looking for like restaurants where we know that half the reviews are fake. So what people are starting to do now is they're going onto TikTok to search for where should I go out for dinner in Cardiff? What should I do this weekend in Birmingham? So you want to optimize your captions to make sure that you are going to be seen by your community. Okay. So like I said, right at the start, all your focus is on doing is training TikTok about who your content should be put in front of. Okay. So you need to constantly train it that your audience is either marketing directors, HR directors, people who like football, whatever it may be. And you can do that using captions. So your caption is down here underneath your account name. Very recently, TikTok have opened that up to 2,200 characters. It used to be about 400, I think, maximum, but now it's 2,200. So you can use your caption to train TikTok and explain exactly what is going to be in your video. This is good for two reasons. One, like I said, it trains TikTok. But two, if someone is ever searching for anything within your niche or within your space, the caption is something that TikTok will look at in order to work out who it's going to show that video to and where it's going to appear in search. So our recommendation is to do a very short, quick title, then do your hashtags between kind of 6 and 10. And then beneath that, write in long form exactly what is in your video. You will find on TikTok that if your caption is long enough, there will be a see more button here, and not many people press see more. It's not really how people use the app. So you've got 2,200 characters to teach TikTok exactly what's in your video, so it appears in search, and you're training the algorithm about who you want to see this video. Again, with hashtags, just keep them really relevant. So even if something happens to be trending, but your video is nothing to do with that, just leave it out. So just make sure that you're very consistent over the hashtags that you use. We always recommend having what we call a branded hashtag. And that is something that is generally kind of hashtag and then your business name. What you can start to do then is if you click on the hashtag, you can see how many views that's had or anyone else that's created content using that hashtag, very much like Twitter and Instagram. But what you don't want to do is, and also if you're a location based, if location is important to your account, making sure that you're hashtagging the location. So hashtag Birmingham, hashtag Wrexham, whatever it may be, and making sure that you're using those is really important. So again, while hashtags don't have the biggest use on TikTok, they are very important again for training TikTok. And then SEO just reflects on what I've been talking about in terms of search and how you appear more likely in the search. Cool. So what I've talked about generally there is organic and how you build a community on TikTok. But there's other ways that you can use the platform. The first is TikTok ads. So this is how do I reach my target audience based on leveraging TikTok's algorithm and basically paying TikTok to put your content in front of your target audience. So like I've said, TikTok have got the best algorithm when it worked in terms of working out who you are, what content you want to see, and therefore you can trust the ad platform to put your content in front of the right people. Being completely transparent, the targeting capability of TikTok in the back end isn't as strong as Meta. For example, location targeting isn't as good at the moment, and some of the interest targeting isn't as good at the moment. However, what we are seeing is that the algorithm is very quick to work out based on your content who that video should be placed in front of, and therefore it's extremely powerful. The other thing just to bear in mind is that not many people are using TikTok ads still, so the cost per impressions are actually on average about 50% cheaper than advertising through Meta from a cost per impression basis. So it is a good opportunity, particularly if you want to get your message out there far and wide. Just think about content though when it comes to ads. So again, your videos will appear within someone's feed. So if it looks overtly like an advert, then you will immediately see, and people will just ignore it and scroll straight on. So even when you're creating adverts on TikTok, make sure that the content is fundamentally still looks like a TikTok and looks native to the platform. When you do run ads, you can include links in your videos. So again, you can have that more conversion-led call to action within the ad as well, which is obviously really good in terms of driving people to a website or whatever your kind of key goals are. The next thing to consider is influencers. Now, what I say about influencers is they're not quite the same when it comes to TikTok as the likes of Instagram. I'm sure we've all heard of the horror stories of Instagram influencers that just hold up products and basically say it's the best thing in the world. And then the week after, they're holding up a different product, and it's, yeah, you can just see straight through it. Influencers on TikTok, we call them creators, can be really powerful. And the reason for that is that they have basically built a niche based on their content. So this guy here, right in the middle, is a guy called Kaby Lame. He is the most followed person on TikTok. I'm sure you've all seen him. His trademark move is where he puts his hands out like this. Like I said, he's now got 151 million followers on TikTok, and he's never once said a word. So he has his very own style of creating content. So when you are working with creators on TikTok, you have to give them room and the ability to create in their style. There is no point as a brand trying to dictate how creators should be using your product and how they should be creating. You want it to look as authentic and natural as possible. The big thing that TikTok have done, which is actually really good and from a business perspective is really powerful, what you can start to do is you can turn a creator's piece of content into an advert. So what they are, they're called Spark ads, basically. So when an influencer posts on their account, you can turn that video into an ad and use their audience for better targeting. You can also add links into their videos. You can add incentives or whatever you may want to focus on as your conversion, to make sure that you're turning what is generally more of an awareness piece of content where an influencer is posting out to their community into something that is more clickable and is therefore more targeted based on conversion. So there is plenty of ways that you can leverage influencers for better use, particularly when working with some of the bigger creators. What you can also do is you can link influencers into your TikTok ads manager, which again is very similar to Meta in the face of it and how it looks. You can bring that content into your ads manager, and then you can set up with separate content retargeting or targeting people who have engaged with the influencer's content. So again, it's much more powerful in terms of having obviously your social proof from your influencer, but turning their audience and that content into something that drives genuine user, whether that's conversion or clicks to the website or app download campaigns or whatever it may be. So they can be quite expensive. I totally understand that, but they can work really well for you and your business. And then if you are an e-commerce brand and you sell product on a website, they have also now launched TikTok Shop. Now, TikTok in China is called Douyin, as I mentioned right at the start. They have absolutely nailed the world of social shopping. So they have a lot of experience that they are bringing through to TikTok to help people purchase product directly through TikTok. Now, if you're selling product on Instagram, you will know that it basically just opens up an iframe of your website and then you complete the purchase directly through the website. What TikTok has done is they enable you to upload your product into TikTok as a merchant, and then you have one-click buy within TikTok itself. It is unbelievably powerful, and it's only going to get bigger. So what you can do, you can see here is that this brand in particular, the Rockies collection, has uploaded their product onto TikTok Shop. Now, if you create content about that particular product, you can have a button where you can immediately purchase that. The other thing that TikTok Shop has done, which is really powerful, is that for any other creator on TikTok that's qualified for TikTok Shop, they can add your products to their basket and create content about your brand. They then link through to your TikTok Shop, so anyone that makes a purchase from their content, which they've created for free, you take revenue and they take a small affiliate commission that you agree with TikTok when you upload your product. So if you are selling something e-commerce, this is a great way of selling directly through TikTok without having someone to go through the app and then click onto your website and hopefully they convert. They can do it in one click directly through the app. But also it opens up your product to be used by loads of creators on the platform that enables you to sell when you're not even creating content. So it does work really well. We have one client in particular that's working on TikTok Shop really well. They're making about £1,000 a day off it, and they are literally doing nothing. They just have their products on TikTok Shop, and then creators are finding their product, creating content about it, and they're just taking all of the revenue off the back. So yes, something to consider if you are an e-commerce business. What you can also do, both with influencers and with TikTok Shop, is you can use TikTok's creator marketplace to go and actively find people or influencers and creators who have your niche audience. So create marketplace, it's free to use. You can select which country they're in, how many followers they've got, what their engagement rate is, and also some additional filters. And then you can manage campaigns directly through TikTok creator marketplace. So again, if you are on TikTok Shop and you want some people to create content for you, rather than just picking it up if they happen to see it, you can do more of a targeted campaign using Creator Marketplace and TikTok Shop to do that. Or if you're not on TikTok Shop, but you want to do influencer marketing, then again, Creator Marketplace is a great place to locate and find creators. The other thing to consider as well, especially as a business, again, like I said, if you don't have people who are comfortable being on camera or don't necessarily want to be the face of your brand, you can also use Creator Marketplace to find creators to create content for your own channels. So they may literally have 10,000 followers, but you've engaged them to create a certain number of videos per month for your own channels. So it's just a slightly different way of thinking about how to find TikTok talent to create content on behalf of your brand. So getting started on TikTok, the good thing is that you don't need a lot of equipment. Investing in the correct equipment, I would highly recommend. But ultimately, if you have a phone with a good camera, you are pretty much there. That's all you need to get going. Like I said, you can edit content within the TikTok app really easily. You just need to have a phone with a camera to basically capture the content. TikTok is generally a sound on platform. People will go to TikTok with their volume up. You obviously therefore need to consider accessibility for those that are hard of hearing or maybe deaf. But ultimately, the message is that you can use sound to your benefit the majority of the time. So making sure that your audio is as good as possible, using the likes of lapel mics. We personally use wireless Rode Go's, just helps to enhance the sound quality and therefore makes your videos much more consumable. If you are doing like voiceover videos, then you could think about having a podcasting mic. Central Birmingham for you with sirens going past. So you can have a podcasting mic. Again, they're not necessarily expensive, but they just help to enhance the quality of your content. If you've got a tripod or a ring light as well, just to enhance the quality of the lighting, but some of our team will literally stand next to a window when they're recording. So you don't need all of this equipment. It's just nice to have. As long as you've got a phone, you are good to go. As I say, the majority of filming I would do in-app on your mobile device, but you can also create content in the likes of Premiere Pro, Final Cut, or InShot and other apps that you may want to use. What we've seen is that basically investing in TikTok is an investment in content. So 70% of Instagram Reels are basically repurposed TikToks. So you can use a program called tickmate.app or tickmate.online, and it enables you to download videos from your TikTok account without the watermark. So then you can repurpose those onto the likes of Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to use that content. Even YouTube Shorts as well now. So yeah, you can film and edit within TikTok. That's what I'd recommend, but you can also edit elsewhere and then upload content into TikTok if you'd like. And then literally just a couple of brands to kind of get your mind thinking. So Duolingo, they are absolutely amazing. They've basically come up with this concept of having an owl, a mascot to create content with. They are absolutely genius in terms of how do you get a relatively straightforward app which teaches you new languages to get 4.8 million followers on TikTok. Likewise, look at Ryanair. Great for inspiration about how you can use some of the features within TikTok to make your product come to life. It's a really good example. Gymshark, always just absolutely amazing when it comes to social. So definitely have a look at how they're using creators. And then one close to home for me in particular is Black Country Living Museum. They've absolutely killed it. They've got 1.3 million followers on TikTok now, and they create some absolutely amazing content, really authentic, really native to the platform. So definitely check out those for some inspiration. But as I say, the best thing to do as a business is to go onto TikTok, search for videos already within your niche and within your service and product area, and just look through and get some inspiration about what people are creating. And I will now be quiet and pause for any questions if there are any. So yeah, feel free to put them in the chat or come off mute and ask away.
Thanks, Oli. Lots of info there. I'm definitely one of those parents that's just got children that show me random videos, and I find them a bit bizarre, but I know a little bit more now about it. So thanks for that. Does anyone want to come off now? You've got the expert there with you. Would you like to come off mute and ask any questions at all? I know there was lots of information included there, so I think they all must be TikTok experts on here today. Anita, did you want to ask something?
Yeah, I've got a question. Is there, in the TikTok shop, is there any limits on the type of products that you can have there? Just the brand I work for, some of our stuff we can't upload to Instagram shop or Meta. So just wondered if they've got any restrictions or policies of stuff that you can't put on there.
Yes, a little bit. So you can actually do food stuffs now, which is good. So some of our clients are selling like sweets and stuff, and even drinks on TikTok shop. We have one client that do CBD drinks, and they're not allowed because TikTok doesn't know what CBD is yet. So there are some limitations, but not many. They have to be able to ship to Northern Ireland is one. And at the moment, TikTok shop is generally UK only. I know they're looking to roll it out across Europe and America as well. So generally UK only at the moment.
Is there a place to get a list of exclusions?
Yeah, I mean, if you do, well, if you want to drop down my email, I can link you up with Rich at TikTok Shop, and you can ask him directly. Or if you just search TikTok Shop online, there's a whole host of products that you can't sell.
Thank you.
No worries. Cool. A question from Abigail. What was the program to repurpose? Yeah, so TikMate, which is TIKMATE .app or TikMate.online. If those don't work, then SnapTik, SNAPTIK.com is also another one that you can use as well. No worries. Jack, you got a question? Typing away. Is anyone using TikTok for their business at the moment? Is anyone getting success at all?
Oh, hi, thank you for doing the presentation, Oli. I'm a software developer and run a company called We Get Design, and I explored TikTok and literally just put one video on there, had a few followers. It's one of those things. How do I resource, this kind of thing? And that's what I was trying to explore. But you've done a brilliant presentation, really useful information. I didn't know about the 2,200 characters, so I can. What about? So you on about captions? Is it like tags below the actual? When you speak, it's recorded. Is that what the algorithm is basing it off? Or
yeah. So if you upload text, so when you upload a video and then you add text to the actual video, TikTok can read that. So that's helpful for training the algorithm. And then your caption, which is basically like your title or whatever it's called in Instagram and Facebook, which sits below your is a description, I think it's called.
Okay.
That's where you're allowed 2,200 characters. So again, just having something short and snappy, which is basically seen, and then writing more long form underneath the see more button is where you can again just have, you can almost put blogs in there, to be fair, just condensed blogs really, if you wanted to.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, we're going to try to expand on, how often do you think we should be posting if we were serious to gain traction, and how long do you think, I mean, I've heard you have to do like a 75 video count or something where people are posting daily, or
yeah, I mean, so personally, my personal TikTok, I posted every day for 29 days and never got more than 500 views. And then my 30th video got 275,000, which is just so. My big rule of thumb on this is, you talked about resource there. The biggest problem that you have if you're saying I want to post every day is that you will either set yourself up to fail, or you haven't got anything exciting or enough to talk about. So you try and force out content, but it's actually pretty crap. So if you can do one a day, brilliant, that's amazing. If you can do 2 a week, but the quality is really good in terms of the value you're providing, that is also fine. It will take you longer to find what that one thing is that really resonates and works, but you have to just manage your own resource and what's available for you internally.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, thank you.
No worries, no worries. And just resource, yeah, just think about creators, third-party creators that you can use if necessary, because there'll be loads of people on TikTok already doing this type of content. You can just message them and say, do you fancy being the face of my brand? And off you go.
Okay, so, yeah, that's something I need. Yeah, so
yeah,
I'll look into that.
Amazing. Cool. So Jack, engineering, I wonder how the field of industry could be. Yeah, nice. So again, I would look on to just hashtag engineering, or if it's like civil engineering, chemical engineering, whatever type of engineering it is, just go and search on TikTok what people are already doing in this space. I mean, personally, I know it's not engineering, but the other day I watched a 30-second video on how to make a leather shoe because I was like bizarrely fascinated. There's a guy on TikTok that's got millions of followers who cleans swimming pools. So what you'd need to do is just find that thing, that type of content that really resonates, whether it's people showing people behind the scenes in terms of how you actually do your engineering, whatever it may be. But my rule of thumb is always just go and search hashtags or search on TikTok directly, look at what videos are already working and getting traction, and see if you can replicate and improve on those. That's how I do it.
Sorry, just a quick question. Is this recorded? Do we get access to this if I needed to show my team, or?
Yes, I believe so. And I can share the slides as well through Lisa.
Oh, wicked. Thank you.
No worries. Abigail, can you schedule TikTok through platforms like Hootsuite? You can. There's more and more platforms coming on all the time. The problem with scheduling is that you can't really add your music and text within TikTok, which we recommend doing. So I know it's a bit of a pain, but we tend not internally anyway to use scheduling tools. We always try and post natively onto TikTok if we can. So you can schedule, but the recommendation isn't don't. I know it's a bit of a pain, but that would be my advice. Is there any way to edit captions once posted? No, once it's live, it's live. If you have made an absolute cock up, then you could always use TickMate, download it, and then re-upload it as a new video. It's a bit like Twitter with no editing. Cool. 3 minutes left. Any final questions? Best time of day to post? Good question. So, I mean, every social media manager's response is it depends and test. So what you can do is if you go, I'll try and show you on my screen if I can. This is where TikTok starts playing. So if you go into your profile, and then in the top corner, you can click on the like 3 lines. And then you should have either creator tools or business tools at the bottom. And then you can go in analytics at the top. So once you click analytics, it will then show you when your audience are online. So if you go on followers, you can see here at the bottom, that's a graph of when my audience are online. So generally it's between kind of 7 and 9 p.m. So what we tend to do is post about 2 hours before that peak time. So most of my videos go up about 5 p.m. generally. But your account will all be individual. So have a look in your analytics. Once you start posting a few videos, you'll start to get some data there. Yeah, I think the biggest thing with TikTok is just give it a go. Like I said, it can be relatively straightforward to create content. Sometimes they can be 6 seconds, sometimes they can be 10 seconds. everyone's just concerned or scared about getting started because they don't know what content to do. Just honestly get on there, try some stuff out, learn how to use the app. It's really simple once you get going. Try and post as much as you can just to get that learning more quickly. But like I say, don't force out content if it's not particularly that well thought out or that useful to your community. So generally just get started, go and search what other brands in your space are doing, what competitors are doing, what creators are doing in your space, and use it for inspiration, and yeah, get going.
Thanks, Oli. That's great, useful. Can I just say at this point, mind, I've got 2 children and I would definitely sell to the highest bidders. They are experts on TikTok, so I'm willing to pimp them out if anybody wants them. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us, giving us up your time today. Thanks, Oli, for doing the presentation as well. If you've got any questions, queries that you wish you'd asked, then I'm sure Oli will take questions post webinar as well for us. So you can either come to AGP or get in touch with Oli yourselves there. Hopefully we'll see some of you on the future webinar. I think we've got 2 this week, so hopefully we'll see you on there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.